Hey everyone, it's Melissa with the M Word. I am a secular, eclectic homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos. I am in my 4th year of homeschooling. We're in our 4th year of homeschooling. I have a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and they are doing 2nd grade, preschool, and tot school. Today is a collaboration with Trisha. She is from the Homeschool Break Room, and I will link her channel above and below, as well as the playlist below as well, for you guys to check out as all the other mamas and what they are doing for their back to school meal planning. I had planned on bringing you along in like a day of eating or a week of eating situation. However, if you missed my September update earlier this week, I broke my arm. So it's really put a kink in this week for me. So I just went ahead and gathered all the things that I usually use to show our meal planning, and how I'll do my best to just kind of show you and explain to you how I handle meal prepping and meal planning for our family of 5, especially when we're back to school, because it's a little bit harder. So right now with my broken arm, I actually just put it in a Walmart order for a lot more easy throw straight in the freezer, or straight from the freezer to the oven meals like frozen and pre-made lasagnas. I bought some stuff for ravioli, spaghetti. I bought like easy already made breadsticks that just go from the freezer to the oven, like just things that are way easy and don't involve a lot of prep, so we can get through me learning how to operate with one working hand and this cast thing. If you missed my update, in my September update, I mentioned that I am part of at the local farmers market, and I helped set up and tear down. And while we were setting up the farmers market, their assumption is that a college student stole the water main cover, and while I was walking across the crosswalk, I failed to notice, because at the same time that I fell in the hole, I happened to turn around to figure out why the tent that I was pulling got stuck, because they're brick sidewalks or crosswalks. The road is a normal road, but the crosswalks are inlaid with brick. And the tent that I was pulling kind of got stuck, so I kind of turned around and stepped back at the same time, and I managed to fall into the water main hole. And when I fell, I got lucky enough not to break my leg. It's bruised pretty bad. My leg is awfully bruised. My whole shoulder over here is covered in bruises. My back has bruises on it, but I was unlucky enough that I must have landed on my arm when I fell, and I broke bones in my hand, and I broke my radius bone as well all the way through. So I severed the bone all the way across, and then the bone is kind of jetted out a little bit. It kind of bumped both pieces of the severed bone out a little bit, kind of like in an earthquake when the tectonic plates kind of push up a little. It kind of left a little bubbled spot in my arm. So that is that story. But that is why my homeschooling plans are a little off of whack, and my homeschooling meal planning is a little off of whack, and this video is not quite what I had planned on it being, but I will still go ahead and show you. So this was last week's menu. I just have a bunch of printer paper on a random clipboard. It's not even a pretty clipboard that we had around the house that gets hung on a nail in my kitchen by the fridge. This is just every day of the week, and I write down what we plan on eating for supper. So for Monday, it was Monterey Jack burgers. Tuesday was pulled chicken rice bowls. Wednesday was rosemary meatloaf. Thursday was sweet as honey chicken. Friday was crock pot chicken. And Saturday was Italian chicken over lemony spaghetti. And then my guess is Sunday was on the next page. So it was over there. And I just kind of write as many as I can fit, and then I write front and back on that. And then for breakfast and lunch, so for breakfast, we always do either cinnamon rolls, bagels, eggs, waffles, or cereal, depending on what my kids want for the morning. I don't make it hard. Eggs are pretty easy to make. We always use waffles or frozen waffles or frozen pancakes, because during the week that's just easier, and cinnamon rolls on occasion. That is just how we were just kind of rotate through those as best we can. I thought about meal planning it out, but some mornings I just don't want to cook, so we have cereal. And other mornings that I just don't want to, but the kids want something more elaborate, they have waffles with a banana, or waffles with some oranges, or whatever. For lunch, I tend to have either a protein shake or a salad. That's just what I prefer for lunch. And the kids will eat either hot dogs, mac and cheese, chicken nuggets. I make a pepperoni roll-up situation that I learned when I had a daycare. It's like a tortilla with cream cheese and pepperoni, and it's just rolled up and sliced up. They have that. They have fruit, vegetables, that kind of thing with their lunch as well. So we always have a plethora of oranges. We have canned fruit, we have frozen fruit, we have fresh fruit, apples, oranges, grapes, strawberries, all the things. And then we have a plethora of garden vegetables from our garden, as well as canned and frozen vegetables that the kids eat as well. They always have to have a fruit and a vegetable with whatever else they're eating, but otherwise I just kind of ask them what they want each day. I say, what would you like for lunch? And they usually throw something out, like mac and cheese or chicken nuggets or hot dogs or pot pies, or occasionally I let them have a frozen pizza for lunch, just kind of whatever we have. Sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They're nothing super fancy, nothing super healthy. It's just lunch and it gets us through the day. For supper, we do a little bit more where I try to make sure that it's healthy and good for us. I do not make my kids extra meals. If they are not awake for breakfast, I do not make them another breakfast. They have a snack drawer they are able to get to. There's veggie straws, there's raisins, there's fruit snacks, there's all the things in the drawer, the pantry drawer, that they are allowed anytime they want. And inside the fridge, there is apples, oranges, cheese sticks, anything they would like out of the fridge, they can always get whenever they want as well. And then for lunch, I don't make extra options. If they get one thing, if I make them mac and cheese and they decide they don't want mac and cheese, well, that's what I made, so that's what you're eating. I try not to make individual meals. Like if one wants chicken nuggets and one wants hot dogs and the other one wants mac and cheese, that's not happening. And then for supper, if I make meatloaf and they don't want it, or if I make, the big one is tacos. My kids barely eat tacos half the time. If I make tacos and they refuse to eat it, then they eat what they can. I always give them a vegetable and a fruit that I know they like with something they might not like. So if I make tacos, I make sure they have sliced oranges because all my kids love oranges. If we make something I know they're gonna like, I usually give them a fruit they don't care for, to try to just keep giving them an option to eat it. I try to make sure that they eat and that they're eating healthy, but I also want to expose them to as many things as I can, because I am such a picky eater. I don't want them to grow up like I don't want them to grow up and be as picky as I am. I want them to eat as many things as they possibly can and learn to love as many things as they possibly can food-wise. And I also don't force my kids to finish their food. I have a really bad, I'm not great with food. I feel like if I put it on my plate, I have to finish it. I feel really guilty if I dump it out. I was raised that you finish what's on your plate. There was a lot of times that I wouldn't try new food as a kid because I was afraid if I didn't like it, I would then have to finish it, and I didn't want to do that. So I wouldn't try new things for the fear of having to finish it if I didn't like it. So my kids are required to try things on their plate, but they do not have to finish them. They do have to take one bite of everything, because you never know if they've changed their taste and they like it now. Your taste buds change out, what I think is every 14 days. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But your taste buds change. They're constantly growing and evolving. And the more you eat something, the more likely you are to like it. The longer it is before you have something again, it means you might like it this time when you hated it last time. There's tons of foods like that. And I constantly remind my kids that just because you didn't like it earlier this week doesn't mean you won't like it today, and to please go ahead and try it, especially with fruits and vegetables, like especially fresh ones out of our garden. Each one tastes just a little bit different, so you never know, you might like it this time. But I don't know if you guys have ever gotten HelloFresh. You'll notice a lot of these meals here are from HelloFresh. When my daughter was younger, we used to get HelloFresh when it was just my oldest daughter, my son and I, or my husband and I. There was just the three of us, and we got HelloFresh often when I was working in the corporate world. It made meals really easily for me. It was just delivered straight to my door. I unpacked it, I made it, put the bags in my fridge, opened it, and that's what we ate for the day. It was super easy. There was more than enough food for all three of us when we just did the 2-person plan. It was perfect. So this is my recipe book. And as you can see, it is full of HelloFresh recipes from when we got HelloFresh. So we tend to use the recipes out of this book. I basically just go through this book each week and decide what we want to eat. I will kind of flip through it, decide what looks good, and I'll write it on the list. And then we get our meats in bulk, and we get a half of a cow or a fourth of a cow, I can't remember, each year, and then we just put that in our freezer. So my husband just goes down to the freezer and grabs what we need for beef, chicken, and pork we order from the store. So if we need that, I will pull that out and put it in the fridge now. When we had HelloFresh, it was way easier. It was great, amazing food. We just don't get it anymore because with a family of 5 and on one income, it's not affordable for us right now. So we do order our food. We usually do a Walmart pickup because that's what's available to us right now. That is just what I do. I go through here and I go through my cookbook, or my recipe book is split between breakfast, soups, poultry, beef, and pork. So it is, I just kind of flip through, decide what looks good, what I might have on hand, and I use that. Any fresh vegetables or anything, I then go ahead and add right away to my Walmart pickup list, and then we pick it up once a week. Usually I will have my husband do the Walmart pickup anymore on Thursdays nights when I'm recording, because it just works better than trying to take the kids to Walmart in the middle of the school day, because then we're able to keep going with school. And my husband just has to go somewhere anyways with the kids while I'm recording. Like right now, they're actually all sleeping because this messed up our weekend. So I'm recording in the middle of the night. It's currently 12:30 at night. So that is how we meal plan and our back to school meal idea. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for me, especially with like easy meals that I can do one-handed, if you have ideas on that, I would really appreciate those. If you could leave them in the comments below. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps me to know which videos you like me to do and which ones you don't like me to do. And of course, if you haven't already, can you please go ahead and subscribe? It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.